Grief does strange things to the mind. When my husband, David, died in a car accident, my world collapsed. I was left alone in our big old house with our 5-year-old son, Toby. For the first few months, the silence in the house was deafening. But then, the silence broke. It started with Toby. I'd find him in the living room, whispering to the empty armchair where David used to sit. When I asked him who he was talking to, he'd look at me with innocent eyes and say, "Daddy." At first, I thought it was his way of coping. The child psychologist said it was normal. But then, the atmosphere in the house shifted. The temperature would drop drastically in the nursery. Toys would turn on by themselves in the middle of the night. One evening, I was in the kitchen and heard a loud crash from upstairs. I ran up to find a heavy bookshelf had fallen in the hallway, inches away from where Toby was playing. I grabbed Toby, checking him for injuries. He was calm. He pointed at the fallen shelf and said, "Daddy pushed it." My blood ran cold. "He pushed it?" I asked. "Yes," Toby said. "He was mad." That was the breaking point. I thought a malevolent spirit was mimicking my husband, trying to hurt our son. The angry energy, the falling furniture, all felt dangerous. I called a priest the next day. I wanted the house cleansed. I wanted my son safe. The ritual was intense. The priest went room to room, commanding the spirit to leave. Toby sat in the corner, crying. He kept screaming, "No, don't make him go. Daddy is helping. Daddy, stay." It broke my heart, but I held Toby tight, covering his ears. "It's not Daddy, baby," I whispered. "It's a monster pretending to be him." When the priest finished, the house felt lighter. The air was still. The presence was gone. I finally felt safe. That night, I put Toby to bed and went to sleep, exhausted but relieved. Around 2 a.m., I woke up to the smell of smoke. I bolted out of bed. The hallway was filled with thick, black smoke. The old wiring in the walls had sparked a fire. I ran to Toby's room, grabbed him, and we barely made it out the front door before the roof collapsed. As we sat on the lawn, watching our home burn, the firefighters arrived. Later, one of the fire inspectors came to talk to me. He held up a charred piece of wood part of the hallway floor. He looked confused. He said, "Ma'am, we found where the fire started. It was behind the wall in the upstairs hallway. But look at this." He showed me the spot where the heavy bookshelf had fallen the day before. The impact of the shelf falling had smashed through the drywall and severed the live wire that started the spark. But because the shelf had fallen yesterday, it had exposed the smoldering wire early. If that shelf hadn't fallen, the fire would have started inside the walls while we were asleep. We would have never smelled the smoke in time. We would have died in our beds. I froze. The realization hit me like a physical blow. Toby said, "Daddy pushed it." David wasn't trying to hurt Toby. He wasn't angry at us. He was trying to break the wall to show me the danger. He was using all his strength to warn us about the fire. And I had cast him out. I looked down at Toby. He was watching the flames, tears streaming down his face. He looked up at me and whispered, "Daddy tried to tell you, Mommy." The wall was hot. I fell to my knees on the grass and screamed. Not because of the house, but because the last thing my husband ever heard was me telling him to leave.